Right, guys, welcome to the video. We're going to go over the winning trades this week because it's a good thing you should always do at the end of the week. You should assess your trades, and I think it'll be very educational for people. So let's go. The first trade of the week was on the SP 500. We're clearly on an uptrend. We're actually making all-time highs at this stage, and let's see what happened. Yeah, I remember this. So I would have loved to have got an entry off this zone here, but it didn't touch it, and I was feeling the FOMO. It was awful. We got done by a pip, and that would have actually been the best move. But what ended up happening was it failed to make a new high, and then the sort of downtrend started. We got a serious rejection. We formed a supply zone, formed a level of liquidity, and there we go. There's our rejection candle. We actually entered this on the 1 minute chart. I've gone a little bit too fast now, but let me show you what happened on the 1 minute chart because also very educational. I always tell you we don't enter on these wiki candles. If we don't get a full body close, we don't enter. Same again, wiki candles. We do enter, however, if the next candle was to have broken this low, which it didn't. And the same up here. If the next candle was to have broken these lows, we could have entered. But that wasn't the case. But we did eventually get a full rejection candle with a full body close right there, and that's the one we entered on. Just got the entry thing a little bit wrong there. There it is. That's the one we entered on right there, and this ended up running for a almost a 5R, I believe it was. I think I wrote it down as 4.72R because market closed around there. Anyway, it was a great trade. But there's the setup. The downtrend started. We failed to make the new high. I mean, it was a little bit of a dodgy one, to be honest, guys. You really want to wait for more confirmation because we weren't really on a true downtrend. But I just felt like because we were at all-time highs and we had this rejection, and I thought downtrend's starting. We've made another low. Look, there's the high, lower high, and then we made another lower high, and I thought, this is it. This is the start of a downtrend, and we caught a great move. So on to the next one. The next one was gold, I believe, and this was a big move. I need to find where it was. Probably quite far away. There it is there. So let's speed it up. See what happened here. It looks like it was another sell. Bear with me, guys. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Going as fast as we can. Clearly downtrending. We formed a lot of zones. Oh yeah, remember this one. We have one zone on top of the other each one. I managed not to take any losses in this situation, but let me show you what happened, because you could easily have taken a loss on the way up to this zone and it wouldn't have been your fault, because we got a reaction off of that zone. I guess I was just locked in this day because I managed to avoid those entries. I waited for the top zone because the top zone's always the best. And I think I used a Fibonacci in this case. I believe it lay on a 68 fib. Yeah, it was exactly on a 68 fib. So that's what made me wait for this zone. So you can get the Fibonacci out when you've got one zone on top of another one, and it really works well on gold. So I waited for the top zone very patiently, managed to avoid a couple of losses, and there we go. There's our rejection candle. I think I actually entered this one a little bit late. Yeah, I waited for more confirmation because it was gold. Yeah, that was it. I actually waited and waited and waited. I managed to avoid entering there. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what to tell you here, guys. I mean, I could easily have took a loss here, and you wouldn't have been wrong to take a loss there. But I guess I was just locked in, and it's gold, and I know how gold behaves. So I just waited, and I ended up getting in when this low was broken here, where I've drawn this green line. When that got broken, that's where I got in. So this ended up running really well. But as you can see, the setup again, this was a really clear one. We're clearly downtrending. Low, just making lower highs all the way. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, all the way down, lower low, lower low. Look, it's like a clear downtrend, and then we've broke structure. We've just gone up in a straight line. This was a perfect one, and yeah, thanks to the Fibonacci, we waited for the zone that lay on the 618 fib, and we caught a 10 RR in this case. Should we play it out? It was a big one. It was a really big one. See these zones, guys? They literally can set trends, you know. Well, it was massive. This one, it's so big. Anyway, that ran forever. I think we caught another trade down here somewhere. But what was the next trade? It was gold again. Was it that one? No, I think that was it. The next trade was BTC. No, we did catch a 5R here on gold. Let's see what happened. So obviously still gap downtrending. Downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. We're on the 5-minute chart. Don't forget, guys. There we go. Boom. Zone tapped. Rejection candle. There it is. I think we entered this one on the 5-minute chart by the looks of things. You don't have to scale down to the 1 minute for entry. It works best on the NASDAQ. But there you go. Clear downtrend. And no, guys, we don't go to the hourly, to the 4-hourly to identify our trend. The 4-hourly has absolutely no. I mean, this whole entire move on the 4-hourly is just like one candle, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just logically, it just doesn't make sense to look at the 4-hourly to try and identify a 5-minute trend when you're entering on a 5-minute chart, you know? But it's just not going to help you at all, right? The 4-hour is probably still looking bullish at this stage. You just don't know, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to get that in. But this did a great move. So there you go. I think the next entry was Bitcoin. This one woke me up in the middle of the night. Where is it? Right, we're coming to it. Let's get to it. Bitcoin was downtrending. I couldn't wait to sell this because we spent all weekend back testing it on TikTok. And we were getting loads of entries. And then when Monday and Tuesday came, we were waiting and waiting. It was just downtrend. It was drawing all these zones forever and ever and ever. Look, not getting entry on a single zone. No pullbacks at all. And then finally, on the 5-minute chart, and actually we should have got a better entry than we did, but I was asleep and it was the price alert that woke me up. We should have been in right there on that rejection candle, guys, right there on that full body close. That would have been our entry, but I was asleep. Luckily, the price alert did eventually wake me up. I believe it took around 25 minutes, but we got there in the end, and I got entry right there. Right there, pretty much. That was the entry. And this one just is still running now. This one's still running now. So up until now, I believe it's done at like a 9-10R, something like that. Anyway, that was another big trade. What was the next one? Was gold again, I believe. Let's go back to gold. There it is. So we're approaching it. It is a buy. As you can see, we're uptrending now, gold. Downtrend's over. We're clearly on an uptrend. Very clearly on an uptrend. And we're looking for buys. There's a beautiful buy zone formed. Look at it. We didn't get entry then. This is where the liquidity sweep boys got in, right? Liquidity's been sweep. Let's see. Did it go on to test the high after the liquidity sweep? I do believe it didn't. So those liquidity sweep boys are about to become our liquidity. Here we go. There you go. Liquidity sweep. The liquidity sweep boys are now becoming our liquidity people. It's funny how that works, isn't it? So beautiful again. We're uptrending. We've come down in a straight line. You know, okay, there's been a little bit of, but it's not by any means formed a downtrend, right? We've come down in practically a straight line. This is A+ setup in my opinion. There's the entry on the 5-minute chart. Actually waited because it was a little bit wicky, it looks like. So go down to the 1 minute. I actually waited for the high of that candle to be broken. Let me just market on the 5 minute there, so you can see how I enter these when it's too wicky. If the next candle is to break this line, I enter before it even closes, right? As soon as it breaks past the high of this wicky candle that I'm not too sure about, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not bad, but it's just too wicky, right? So in this situation, I prefer to wait for that to be broken. So it would have been around there, I think my entry was. So I'd go to the 1 minute chart in this situation, and as soon as that gets broken, I'm in. At this point, I'm in, right? See how that works? So back to the 5 minute, so you guys can see the A plus setups. We are not trading against the trend. We are not catching falling knives. People mistake this downward momentum for bearishness. Oh, it's breaking structure and all that stuff. Liquidity sweep boys that got in there are getting wrecked and becoming our liquidity, right? That's what they're for, right? That's why they do it once or twice, right? And they didn't even go up and test the top. So liquidity sweep boys put the TPs up there, yeah, and they get absolutely wrecked. So anyway, funny how that works. That one did a nice little move. There we go. And that was it. I believe I got a little bit of a better entry, to be honest, there, guys, because I did it like a 2.64 or something. But yeah, and the last trade was on SP500, which is the trade of the week. This one was an absolute beauty. It's still running now. It's done a 20 RR so far. This was the trade of the week, guys. We know all markets dumped, so I think we got a little bit lucky and news went in our favor. And it was also a little bit of a dodgy entry for me. I mean, it sort of broke my rules. It did not approach the zone in a straight line, but I'm going to show you the reason why I was so confident on this and I gave it as a signal in the group. Yes, we are downtrending there. Do you know what I'm saying? We are downtrending there. The overall trend is like down. We've reacted off a zone up here. So we missed this move, right? We missed this move. This was the move to get in. It went up in a straight line. Boom. That was the move to get in. Fortunately, I didn't get us in there. I'm not sure why. Maybe I was not locked in at that time. But there we go. This is where I got us in. This is where I got us in. Look at the reaction. Yeah, it got a little bit trendy, but it didn't form like an uptrend. I mean, it's not perfect, right? But this candle, it got rejected off two zones. There's actually two zones here. You see, there's one supply zone there and one supply zone there, and it's left a wick, a giant wick in both of them. Now I waited for the close on this, right there. I waited for the next 5 minutes. The next 5 minute candle closed extremely bearish with a full body, no wick on the bottom of it. Perfect to enter on. That's where I got my entry. So it's actually run for a 23.89R. Seems I have my my chart marks out to run. It's done a lot more than a 20R. It's done a 23R so far. You want to see how this one played out? Just went straight down. This was the trade of the week, and this is the final trade. What a beauty it was. Just went straight down, guys. And some people are still holding that position now because market can open and it can keep dumping. So that was it, guys. That was it. Those were all the trades. I hope that helped some people to identify trend and identify the A plus setup. This was a little bit of a dodgy one, but as I said, I went on the rejection and the overall trend of the day was still bearish. And yeah, that's it, guys. So take care.